Evo da ti tata pročita ovaj stih. Zove se Zapis o petorici. Zapis o petorici. Četvorica jednog vode, jednog gone četvorica. Četvorica mrka lica preko vode, preko žica. I od ića i od pića, i od ruha i od kruha. Kroz živice, kroz ižice, od slobode do slobode. I od hiže i od greba, i od zemlje i od neba. Četvorica jednog vode četvorica. Četvorica jednog broji, četiri se jednog boji. Šta kažeš o tome?
Hello everyone, it's a beautiful Sunday and I'm once again at my cathedral in nature. If you've been following my channel for some years, you know that I have done some videos from this place, and it's my recharging center. And what's beautiful is that I just saw an eagle or some kind of a royal bird fly over there, because you can, I mean, it's amazing. You notice immediately that it's not one of the usual birds you see, because it's too graceful in the air to be an ordinary bird. So anyway, the poem I read there for my daughter in the beginning of this video is by Mak Dizdar, a Bosnian poet. It was written way in the mid 1900s. So the poem is about going your own way, and how that is always a path of hindrances and obstacles put forth by people who want to control that path. And control is always based on something kind of negative, something not based on truth and so on, and it's always rooted in fear. Fear of I don't know what, and there are many reasons for fear, but one of them is insecurity, and God knows how many other reasons. So I'm here, and as usually, you know, get out as often as you can. You see, there's a beautiful path going in there. I'm gonna go there later on. In the Mumin, you know about Mumin. I can't remember which episode, but the Mumin father is alone in his house, and he says, like, well, you know, it's good to be alone because you can hear your own thoughts, especially as a family man. For those of you who live a family life, you understand that. So thank you, my wife, I love you, and it's important to get your own time. As I said in many other videos, like, it's important to have your own time with your partner, your own time with the children, as a family, and also it's fun to be you know, with one of the children separate and have some quality time. So that brings me on to this topic in this video, and that's about living life the way you want to have it. And like in 2011, I just realized that everybody's sitting in front of the computer, and no matter what job you have, you are always doing something on the computer. And why not, you know, learn something about it and have a side job, some side project, something online. And I began on that path, and I have done a video 4 years ago about that. I'll leave the link to it below. And yeah, it took me on some various tracks, like web development. I ran my own music and art site where I did, you know, reviews. I visited festivals, and yeah, it was really interesting. But everything changes and develops into something else, and as long as you have some sort of vision of where you want to be, in the end you will get there. You have to have this persistence and realize that living life the way you want it will always be full of obstacles. And I'm talking in this context of course about things that are peaceful and that come from the heart and from your own desire to shape your life the way you want it, because hey, that's the life we have, the one we were granted. So we have to make use of it, and there are many obstacles, many things one needs to overcome, and as time progresses you realize you kind of gotten there. So what happened to me, I have my own online business, and as if you missed that, I work as an organic food store manager in an organic food shop at the moment, and that's fantastic, you know, to be able to provide good quality food for your family. But my way and our way, we've been together for 10 years. We will have a celebration later on this year. We have always had this idea, and you know, everything depends on what kind of life you want to have. You know, you might dream of having a big home in the countryside, or maybe like in our case, I see us more having like smaller places, but at various places, because I like to travel, I like to change environment, and I like to linger in a certain environment. So everything depends on what we want in life, but we can get there. I mean, just imagine how life was 100, 200 years ago. It was very limited. And today, everything is possible, and there are many methods and many ways out there. You probably heard about FIRE, like fast investments, earlier retirement or something. No, fast investment, retire early. There are many paths and ways, and you can always get inspiration from various people's journeys, various methods and so on, and kind of make your own way, the way you please, together with your partner or by yourself, whatever your situation is. So we, for example, do not want to be blocked and in being flexible in our lives. So for example, next year my child will begin school, and you know, there are good schools, but educational systems are always something of a mediocre way of collecting children together while their parents are out there working. And we all know that today, in this day and age, if you're not going to be somebody specific, like doing brain surgery, you can learn almost anything faster than you can in school. So in that sense, our way is a kind of a middle ground way. You know, find a good school, but also look up like how much can you be away from school during a term, or what kind of other schools are there in other countries, what kind of homeschooling systems are out there. It's all to be looked upon as some sort of challenges, hindrances, but it's very delightful to explore life in that way, because that means that, you know, if you can have a good job and good merits where you can work for somebody else, and in my case I have something that is my own, which, you know, makes it, we could kind of like work from anywhere in the world. But this year is special because everything is locked down, there are no airplanes in the skies, traveling is out of the question, and that just suits me personally good. I'm not saying I'm in favor of the situation, but it kind of suits the time, you know, like I'm living a 9-to-5 life now, but I also still work on my own stuff. So it amazes me how much things I get done and organized. You know, having one full-time job, which I love, and you know, kind of thrive there. I have my own thing in which I'm very happy and thriving, and you know, it gives me a lot of satisfaction. My wife's having her own projects. So we're kind of, we don't stand on one leg, so to speak, and that's been my goal, or our goal, to kind of, you know, hack this system to be able to be flexible, but at the same time ensure you know, economical stability. And if you have children and as they grow older, you need more cash flow, you need more stability, so that increases the challenge, and so on. But hey, you know, I've mentioned that in some other video also, that I will kind of in the future, or how to say, kind of talk more about life, you know, like how do we do things, like more practical things that can inspire other people to make decision, or, you know, have a look at how somebody else is doing something similarly to maybe what you want to do, in the same way that I have been inspired by some people. For example, the German family, Sundance family, they like a family of 6 children, and, you know, he's doing online work, he's been doing that for years, and I've been following them for many years now. And there are many other examples, so, you know, check them out, check my channel out, and share your ideas and what do you think about life in general, like the system we work in, how one can combine your ambitions in life, your passions, into something that can give you more adventurous way of living, no matter if it's an everyday period of your life, or if you're on vacation or traveling, or learning about something new, because that's the way things should go. It all starts from ourselves, how we can kind of make our lives the way we want it to. But of course, there's always this force majeure aspect, that, you know, things can go very rapidly downhill too, you know, wars and purges and economical crisis, as we saw now during the spring. You know, I can't imagine how many people have lost their economical stability and such. But that also puts us into position where we need also to be responsible for our own situation also. Like, what is the reserve we have? We must always have a plan B, a plan C, and that goes for work, that goes for the place you live in, that goes for many aspects in life. We always need to have some backup plan and such. Now, and all this is kind of like, I'm standing in the forest right now. 500,000 years ago, you know, people had to survive, they have to be inventive, they had to find food and so on. We don't live that kind of way, but we still have that instinct of improving, providing, and kind of fulfilling ourselves in some way. So although the milieu has changed, we still have that driving force. And I think one of the problems is that people don't get in touch with that, and don't feel like they are living that and using that. So perhaps that's why people like to spend time watching series and getting, you know, the kind of thrills and kicks of whatever manuscript somebody else wrote. I don't watch TV series. I watch them. I watched so many films back in the days when I was younger. Films from 1910, 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s. I watched so many TV series. But in the end, you see, there's always this kind of same story, but with a different background. So what's more to see there? You know, life is more interesting than anything provided through a manuscript. And you know, Jim Morrison said something, or wrote something down in a good way. He said, like, oh great creator of being, grant us one more hour to perfect our lives. No, sorry, I had to repeat that. O great creator of being, grant us one more hour to perfect our art and improve our lives. Now that was wrong too, but you get the point. I'm paraphrasing right now. So yeah, that's the kind of, you know, path and way in which I want to live. And one aspect is like, it kind of seems like it's something that has to do with the super individualism of our society, like fulfill yourself, think about yourself. But that's kind of not the result from that, because the more you manage to live a way you live, the more you can offer to somebody else through various means. The more you can be in support of others, because you yourself have a base to stand upon. And it's all about being based. So, you know, family life, keeping your family together, that's very important in this day and age. And to educate yourself and people around you, and get educated by people around you. Maybe educate is the wrong word, you know, English is not my first language, so let's say exchange ideas, inspire one another, or share perspectives. You know, one can share perspectives without having necessarily to kind of live by them or accept them. It's interesting to explore. And we are a group of people with some sort of common interest, idea, goal. We don't have to be like-minded, but we have some kind of aspect which kind of makes us stick together. And to go back to that poem, or that thing about, you know, going your own way leads to a kind of an endless path of obstacles. When you choose to do that, from my experience, it can be a lonesome trip, because you necessarily don't have the people to exchange ideas with around you at the moment. But things kind of find their own, things get attracted to one another. So if you start along with a certain idea, a vision of life, and you began with something like a small thing each day, which kind of is building upon reaching whatever your, you know, vision of life is for the next 5 or 10 years or forever, I don't know, you will attract, and other people will get attracted to you, and you will find people or information and things which help you along that path. That has been my experience. Oh yeah, up there I think there's a bird's nest somewhere on the top there. I saw them fly over there, but I'm not going to disturb them, you know, let them live over there. I'm just going to enjoy my place here. So that's what I'm up to. That's kind of what I'm doing. As you saw, I read poetry to my children. I read children's books. They learn 2 languages already, or 3, Swedish, Bosnian, English. That's, you know, Germanic languages, English, Swedish, Scandinavian area, the Slavic area. And when you add all that up, you kind of have more than half of Europe. And you can understand something all the way to eastern end of Russia. So that's something, you know, which children can have a use for. Just to give a, you know, an example, the school system is good, if it's good. There are good schools out there, but the educational system is in decline, and we have to look at it for what it is. 12, 13, 15 years, and what do people learn really? So one has to take responsibility for that, to kind of add something to it, allow your children to have some interests, something they can thrive in and feel that they know that they learn from a young age. And you can sort of combine those 2 aspects. and always be informed and, you know, feel like you're in the power to change your situation depending on what your family wants to, what your children want to have in their life. So that's my kind of way of living. It's always to be flexible, but all that can happen because for me personally, I'm very organized. You know, talking about this kind of might sound loose. Maybe it's just the way I express it, but you have to be really organized. You have to be determined and stick through it, and it's really rewarding. So yeah, I just wanted to share, you know, what life is about for me, what our goals are, and no matter what's going on around the world, that is something separate. That is something you can observe, you can research and so on, but it all boils down to what you do and how you kind of make yourself, your life, your habitat a beacon of something positive. Positive in a sense, as long as you are in a place where you want to be and you do the things you dream of, it will shine off some sort of radiation. That's the way I look at it. So thank you for watching. I hope you had a good Sunday. Hope you're gonna get a good start of the week. I'm gonna walk a bit in the forest, and there are children await who need to take their Sunday bath later on. So all the best. Ciao.